Hey everybody, it's Bob with Bob's Bee Company. So March 19th, today I saw our first dandelion. It's usually the first sign of a nectar flow. They say it's the first food for the bees, but up to this point there is some maple that's been blooming and the bees have been getting pollen from it. But a little breezy, but I am dying to see what's going on. Haven't been in them in a couple weeks. 2 weeks ago or so, put on some pollen patties and then put on some Hive fondant. Moved or took out all of the sugar and just kind of trying to let them do their thing. One thing I really have been wanting to check on is our little queen that could. Still stacked over a busier box. There's been some bees coming in and out, but I haven't been able to see pollen going in. So I'm gonna crack them open, and what I want to do this weekend is, if there's still a queen in there and she's viable, we're going to actually swap places. So I'm going to put that after dusk in a position of a stronger hive, and the idea is that all those foragers from that busy hive it'll be over here, they'll fly out to forage, and then they'll naturally go back to their home spot, which will be this little tiny, barely making it colony. What I might do today is try to go through and hopefully this colony that's on the bottom, find a good frame of brood that's capped. That capped brood we'll put in there. Those emerging bees from capped brood will boost the colony, and then by switching them, all the foragers that leave their home colony, they'll come back, or they'll leave after the switch, they'll come back. So anyway, all those bees, after switching the boxes, they'll fly out to forage, but then they'll go back to their original spot, and if this box is there, it'll catch all those foragers and just help boost the colony is the idea. So we get set up here and we'll see what's going on. Okay, I'm set up. I'm going to go into this small little cluster and see how they're doing. Doesn't look good. They've eaten some of they are eating some of the Hive Alive. Looks like there might be a little increase in population from the last time I was in here. This is a little sensor I use to monitor their temperature. Even as small as this cluster has been, they've been keeping it on a 30-degree night, about 60 on average. So a lot of work for those little bees. I don't think they're really taking any of the pollen patty. It's still nice and pliable though, so we'll put it back. There's just not a lot of foraging going on from this small part of the hive. I could knock them down into a smaller box, which is something I may need to do as well. Or put some follower boards. Follower boards are basically a blank frame that you can use. Put 3 frames and put a follower board on each side, and it just kind of helps them keep their heat closer together. Bees don't like a lot of space. I'm not going to smoke them because there's not a lot of them, and I don't want to get the queen too riled. It looks like they're only on 2 frames. This is feeling a little heavier. Tiny cluster. So there's actually a few eggs, a few larvae. I think all that capped brood had died. There's a tiny bit of nectar and some bee bread, so they are getting some pollen, storing some pollen. Well, I'm not seeing Miss Queenie anymore on that little bit of cluster. Look at this again. She should be right there. That's interesting because there's no more eggs. There is larvae, but they should have been expanding now with all the resources available to them. There's no bad smell. Sometimes a cat pee smell indicates European foul brood. Lift this box off and see if we can see her corpse on the bottom board. It's actually a double screen board. There's some larvae that they pulled out. Kind of wondering, I should have looked a little better at this. She might have been up here in this fondant. She would have stuck out though. But these are all workers. And they're not very many, about 5. And some larvae they pulled out. I'm gonna look one more time for her, but I think I'm just gonna have to combine what little bees are left. So I'm down on 10% battery, so I'm not jumping around There is tons of nectar. I was open feeding a little bit, so the colony underneath are definitely building up well. These are not happy. This isn't the best setup in this area. This is the resource yard, so things are really tight. Comes the wind. So at first glance that looks like a shotgun pattern, but the queen has gone back and laid in every single empty cell that's there. So we actually, right here is an emerging bee. I have a reflection on my screen, so I don't know if that's going to show, but your brand new bees are very fuzzy headed, almost white and wet looking. Healthy wings. And your nurse bees are kind of fuzzy too, but so this is all capped brood. Oh, there's our queen right there. I do this, stop tripping again. Post-production will edit this. All that is capped brood. It's always like a little bit of a pinker color. Here in the corner is nectar that hasn't been capped in honey. This over here that's kind of orangish is bee bread. So I know the queen is on this frame. I'd love to find on this next frame where it could be all capped brood. No, actually, I'm thinking the frame with a few eggs wouldn't be a bad thing, and then my other colony is truly queenless. They'll build another queen. Not seeing any drones yet, so that'll be the next step. This has got tons of pollen, nectar. So I'm not going to pull from this colony. I want them to build up bigger. The reason why is because they're going to be a resource colony. Possibly be the one that does some queen rearing. I'll use them as a starter to start some queen cells and then finish them in a queen right hive. Anyway, I'm going to pause for now because I know my phone is dying.